So we're back. We're back at it. We're fishing. I'm making videos. But there's a pretty large amount of stuff that's happened since the last fishing videos you guys have seen. I'm pretty sure for almost 3 weeks, I did not cast a single line in this river. But the story starts long before the drama of me almost quitting YouTube. What really makes a YouTube video special is the creator's ability to make the viewer understand what is special about that trip or this video. You know, everyone out there can go catch fish. So to me, my job has always been to tell the story and make you guys understand why the video you're about to watch is special. Not only to me, but to anyone that watches it. And I think that's kind of what is setting my channel apart from many other channels out there. There's literally thousands of people in this state that are going out and posting pictures of their catches. They're posting short clips of catching some fish, and those videos to me are really them just trying to showcase their fishing skills and their accomplishments. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. There is some value to that, but for me, that's not what it's about. For me, it's about the story. It's the journey. It's the learning process. It's the path I've taken before catching a fish. And that's why I show a lot of stuff that other people don't show. So a lot of the stuff I'm going to show in this video, that stuff is kind of lacking because of the situation. And so that's why I'm here talking to you guys, because I need to take time and explain to you what makes this special. And so we're turning this one into a story so I can make you guys understand. And some of those things are really played a part in me wanting to continue making videos here for YouTube, for you guys. So just to be clear, if you aren't from around here, you don't fish the Youghiogheny River, I don't always know who I'm talking to. What I want to say to set the ground here is every fishery is different. When you come to hunting trophy fish, a trophy in some places could be a 17. Speaking about smallmouth. A trophy in other places could be 23. So to set the ground level here, to me, a big fish is 17. But like the top 1% they're really a 19. A 19. 20s and up exist, but I've caught one my whole life. Just one. But I've caught a good bit of 19s. So to start this story, we have to go all the way back to like the 3rd week in November. $67 degrees. Yeah, everything is a mess from that trip to the York Lake. Oh, dude. But we did catch a giant, so we may be going back this weekend. But we have a storm rolling in that could possibly be bringing the first snow of the year. And we're talking about it is possible that they will close down that lake if we get snow. Why? I don't know. I don't know how this works. I don't know why they just leave the gate open and leave. Like, but ain't my lake, so anyways, let's go see if we can catch a giant. We're ripping. I don't think I catch anything. The day you're watching now is one of those trips where I was getting skunked, and I'm like, I can't find them. I can't find the fish. And so literally, I'm making my way down through this section of river, which I consider a hole, a fast section to the next fast section I call a stretch. And in this stretch, there is a hole, is a deeper section, and some of these holes can be 1/4 mile long. But and that's what we're looking at here. Is I would fish that from starting at the top all the way through the middle, and then we're coming to the bottom of this hole, and I'm already thinking I'm not going to catch anything. And then I just keep telling myself we still got time, and you'll know when it's time to give up because we're not done yet.
Not a single fish. We fished that whole stretch. Not a single fish. That's a fish. It is not small. I think it's a giant. I think it's a giant. Oh, you're kidding me. This is a giant. Stay down, bud. He's jumping. It feels like a giant. Oh, it's pretty good head shakes. He's probably a good one. Oh, he just come off. I knew I should have kept the rod down. He grabbed that when I wasn't paying attention. That was a good one. So they're at the bottom of the hole, or is that just a lucky fish? As soon as I gave up hope, I literally was just telling myself, just go home.
And so, as you've seen, like, you know, it's hard to say on camera, but the fish I just lost was an absolute giant. In my book, that was probably a 19. Maybe not. You know, your eyes can deceive you, but it was big. Regardless, it was big. So now I'm back in it. I go, oh, yeah, okay, they're down at the bottom of the hole. Let's focus down here and see if there's some more. Because usually, if you find one, you can find at least 1 or 2 more.
That was probably our shot. Because I didn't get a hook set. That's what I'm telling you. This happens to me all the time. So I refuse to not hook set. I have to hook set. That's a bite. Not small at all, dude. This is a giant. Don't come up. He's coming up. He's coming up. Don't. This is a freaking giant, guys. Coming towards me. Oh, don't up this. Don't up. This is a good fish. I felt that bite. This is a giant. Oh, he's big. He's big. Stay down. Oh, he's big. He's big. Stay down. Stay down. Stay down. We're gonna come over this way, bud. We're gonna come over this way. He's big. Oh, he's big. Oh, that's a beautiful fish. Oh, guys. That is a really good fish. Oh, you're kidding me. That is a giant. Oh, dude. Oh, guys. That's a big one. Oh, look at the bottom of the tail. So crazy. Let's go see what this guy weighs. Ah, I felt that bite. They're at the bottom of the hole today. All right. We got a nice rock right here with some poop on it. With some poop on it. That might be a 19. His mouth is saying 18 and something, but he's heavy. He's very heavy. All right. Let's see what he is. Very good fish. Oh, he's just an 18. Just a real thick 18, but hey, that's a great fish. Great fish. He's heavy for an 18. Let's get him in a dunk real quick. Get his gills wet. And let's get the scale out. Zero it out. Yeah. Let's see, 18 should be around 3. 2.89. 289. Interesting. Thought he was going to be a little heavier than that. It's the kind of fish we came for. See you, bud. Other way. Other way. Other way, dude. Other way. Where you going? Bud. Crap. Alright, let's... Alright, bud. See ya and your beat up tail. See ya. There he goes. Good fish. It's persistence paid off.
So there it is. We caught one, and it was a big one. That seems to be common this time of year. You're not going to find a lot of numbers, but if you do find one, it's probably going to be on the big side. Now, but as we're going through the story, don't forget that fish. That is a special fish. We have an idea of what the fish may be doing. That's information we could use to help us in December to keep our Elite Challenge up. Of course, if you haven't seen it, but the Elite Challenge is to catch a smallmouth bass, at least one, every month of the entire year in this river. It's a very hard challenge. It really is. But so, this time of year, you were in PA. One day it could be 70 degrees, the next it could be -10. You really don't know. It could pour down 6 feet of rain, or it could not rain at all for months. The weather here is insane. And sometimes that kind of weather, you can use that to your advantage sometimes. So if we fast forward a couple days, pure chaos. Huge crazy rain, and the river starts coming up, and we've had a drought for most of this year, right? So the bank is littered with dead tree limbs, billions of leaves, giant sycamore leaves, twigs, branches, some garbage, not a ton, but you're always going to have some bags and garbage and pop bottles and beer cans and stuff, washed nightcrawler containers, When you go from having a drought that low and the river's that low, and then the water comes up several feet, all of that stuff starts washing off the banks and coming down the river. That has to be probably the hardest fishing condition you could ever see, because you have all this debris in the water. It's hitting your line. You're thinking it's fish. You're trying to get through that. I mean, there's probably debris in the bottom of the river just turning around in these spots and the eddies and stuff. And so I feel like the fish would have a hard time even figuring out a difference between this little stick down there floating around or this little leaf or something between a bait. It's almost zero visibility. I mean, like an inch or two. It's just straight mud. I call it Willy Wonka. The only chance you have in conditions like that are finding these shoreline eddies, because the fish will go up on the bank, I assume because of fear of the river conditions getting worse and worse, and so they don't want to be out there in that craziness, even though they could sit behind a rock and I'm sure they'd be just fine. But I'm sure there's debris and logs coming down there smacking off rocks. It's just chaos in the middle of the river. But beyond that too, with the water coming up, that gives these fish a new place to target for food. If you've ever had a pool when you were a kid, you were done for the year, whatever, or the pool broke, you ripped it open, and gallons and gallons of water hit the ground. Well, if you go back out there, it could be 15, 20, 30 minutes later, hour, who knows. Sometimes you'll find night crawlers just everywhere. You just look, and it's just crawling with night crawlers, especially if you have any kind of soap or chlorine and stuff in the water. Those night crawlers, they hate it. They come up out, and they just get to the surface and try to get out of that stuff. So I personally think when you flood the riverbanks like that, anywhere where there's dirt, I think night crawlers come out of that, and then I think the fish know that. So I think they get up there, they're eating worms and stuff. They're looking in the ground, they're rummaging around, and all the debris and craziness out of the current. It's the food's in there. There's no current in there. Safety's in there. The water's dark. You're under the trees and stuff. It's the best place for a fish to be. But anyways, regardless, I went out anyways, because I like a challenge.
So this is the benefit of living real close to the river. Just left the house 4:12 p.m. We know it gets dark at like 5, and you're thinking to yourself, well, why the hell are you going fishing if you only have like 45 minutes? Well, technically, we'll be there in about 3 minutes. But for bank fishing, I mean, if you don't catch something the first 30 minutes, you're probably ain't gonna catch nothing. So might as well just go and see if we can catch something.
416.
It's a beautiful thing. I mean, this is the highest this river's been in a long time. Like y'all soft. Straight mud. See, this is the kind of stuff that's gonna make winter fishing hard. This starts happening like this, and you get mud, and we start getting mud all winter. That will not be a good thing to try and fish. Alright, let's go catch nothing, because it is straight mud. Straight mud. No way we just caught a fish. No way we just caught a freaking fish. What is that, a walleye? It's a freaking walleye. No way we just caught a fish in this. No freaking way, dude. No. No, freak, that's a good walleye too. You are freaking kidding me right now. Oh, he's missing an eye. So his smell senses must be really good. That's not the first walleye I've caught that was missing an eye. Almost like naturally, like it never had an eye almost. Do you see what we're fishing in? Do you see this? Are you recording? Whoa. Yeah, you're recording. We just caught a... Do you see this? Straight mud. Walleye. Good old one eye Walter.
So there you go. Believe it or not, we caught a freaking fish in that craziness. I think I'm going to call him One Eye Willie. That to me is... That's basically finding a needle in a haystack. You know, but to me, I think that proves that scent matters. What else could have drew One Eye Willie in to eat in that tube? Seriously, I don't have anything that makes noise in that tube. That tube was basically the color of the water. There's like an inch of visibility. You got debris down there. How else would he have eaten that? To me, 100%, that proves scent is a big deal. Not to make this an ad, but I have now what I am calling my scent bags. Multiple reasons for that. The main reason is squirting in scent, smelling the scent, getting the scent in my fingers, all throughout the bags and stuff. It's just it's kind of a nightmare. The scents I use are extremely potent. You know, so but that means that you as a fisherman, anytime you want to use that tube coated in that scent, you end up getting it all over the place. All over your fingers, your hands. You end up getting on your rod gets slippery and greasy. Man, your nose itches, you go like this, and all you smell is craw or garlic all freaking day. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. So what I've been doing for myself is I've just been grabbing a bag, putting a squirt of scent in it, and then when I'm out there, I just open the bag up, dip in the tube, pull it back out, close the bag, and now you just applied scent without having to get it on your hands. Now you got to be careful because you could get some on the bag and you might deal with the bag. But to me, it's still better than fumbling around with this tube and coating your fingers all the time. And that's why I have the scent bags in my store now. And of course, I'm charging money for them because I can't have an item in my store that doesn't cost money, because then people will just be grabbing it all the time. So I understand that yes, you guys are losing scent out of my soft plastics that I used to do for free, but even then, the scent does cost me money, so I probably should have been charging, but I really wanted people to have that edge with my particular baits. You know, now you guys, if you want scent, you gotta buy it. But at the same time, I think this benefits just as many people, to where it wasn't fair to the guys that didn't want scent because they didn't get a price reduction for not having scent. So that's where the scent bags have come from. Just wanted to throw that out there. I do think it's important. I think it plays a big part in how successful I am. So moving on. It wasn't too long after this trip that the whole craziness at the York Lake happened, and that's when my break started. So everything you just saw was prior to my break. But so after about 3 weeks or so of not fishing at all, I just was sick of being in the house and was like, you know what, I'm going fishing. I'm going outside. I'm doing something. But a thought I had in my mind when I set out to leave the house to go do some fishing wasn't entirely for me to just get out of the house. This was at the point where I had taken a break already, and I was really questioning whether or not I should continue doing what I'm doing. And so, I'm kind of, I don't know what you want to call it, superstitious, whatever, I don't know. But so I'm leaving the house, and I'm very open-minded, right? I did not care if I caught a fish, didn't care about anything, but I was looking for, I guess you can say, a reason to continue. But how I see it is, I was looking for a feeling. You know, while I'm out, how do I feel? How do I feel about what I'm doing? How do I feel about having a camera on? How do I feel about, give me a sign to say I should continue or I should quit. But if I go out and I go, yeah, this is me, this is it, then that's my sign.
don't think this spot will be any good, but I'm gonna give it a shot. What kind of skeleton is that? That's an interesting one. I don't know, some kind of bird. Oh, you're kidding me. Are you kidding me right now? I forgot my phone. What's that?
Your baits, man.
Oh, thanks.
Any hits today?
Not yet. I didn't spend much time there.
Yeah, man. I've been watching your videos, man.
Yeah.
Just take a little break. It'll come back to you if you want to do it or not, man.
Yeah. Yeah, there's stuff I talked about, but then there's stuff that I don't mention. It's also not good, you know, but I don't know. We'll see.
Usually Ned rig like up through here, but I'll break off a lot. With this was a lot easier. I was able to free it up.
Yeah, it works decent.
I think I found a new toy to use here.
Yeah, right.
Well, this was supposed to be like one of my presents. You know, I ordered like several packs, so like I snuck one out this morning. I was like, I'm gonna take one of the spiral jigs to the tubes again, and I'll put it back in the bag.
Yeah. What was your name again?
Terry.
Terry.
Hey.
Nice to meet you.
You too, buddy. Take
Absolutely.
care, man.
Thanks for buying some tubes and stuff. I appreciate it.
As long as you keep the store up, I'll probably be buying some more. Best thing for you to do, man. Just take a break.
All right, man. Nice to meet you.
Hey, you too, buddy. Take it easy.
You too. See ya.
So, met a subscriber. He's literally using one of my tubes. That to me was very cool. Very cool. He was a very nice guy. Nice to meet you, Terry. Hopefully you didn't mind I put that in the video. At this point, guys, I'm just going to say, if you see me and you know my channel and I'm out, I'm going to assume you're okay with being in a video. You guys know I record pretty much the entire time I'm out. It's rare that I don't have something recording because you never know what happens. But absolutely nice to meet you, Terry. Thank you for buying baits and stuff. That's awesome. Thank you very much. So understand, though, right? To me, it was a beautiful moment. He understood what I was going through, and even he said, you know, just take a break and see how it feels. You know, it's awesome, dude, awesome. But with the chaos that was happening, I want you guys to understand that before that interaction, you know, I saw somebody there, and I always try to avoid people and give people their space. But with people telling me that I'm spot burning and you know, making me paranoid about all like thousands of people following around and stealing my spots, and I was avoiding any interaction with this person because those thoughts were still going through my head, and I was like, man, he's here in a spot I've been fishing lately, and it's just like, are they right? Like, maybe I should stop. Like, maybe I am wrong, and this is ruining something, not only for me but possibly other people. But after the interaction, I go, no, this was awesome. This is a very cool moment. There's nothing wrong with this. This river is for everyone. I'm not going to go around being a Grinch to some guy. He watches my videos and goes fishing and bought my tubes. He knows of this spot before me. I mean, on top of that, the guy got here miles and miles and miles and miles down the bike trail when it's wet and soft with a pedal bike. No e-bike motor. If anything, I think he earned it more than I did. He knew this place long before me. He pedaled his butt off to get down to this spot and fish. He earned it in my book. I could never be upset with anyone fishing anywhere that I fish, first of all. And second of all, especially someone out there putting in the work. You gotta give it to him. There's nothing wrong with this. But at the same time, I try to look at it through both sides. And so if I look at it through the negative side, he's in my spot. I don't feel that way, but from what people are saying to me, that would be a point on their side as well. So it's really 50-50 if I try to work out good and evil here. I move on to another spot and see if we can get something there.
Oh, no way. Are you kidding me? Stick. Rip my boot. Bamboo. Rip my boot. Now my foot's soaking wet. There was a fucking piece of bamboo in it. It's like the weakest tree ever. Somehow it went right in. I just broke right off. Leader and everything. Oh, I didn't bring any leader with me. I guess this is what happens when you don't fish for a couple weeks. And didn't bring my leader. I know that because I just packed my stuff. Never put it in there. I was wondering, I told myself there was something else I was supposed to put in that back pouch. It was the leader.
And so, as you just seen, multiple things are going wrong here. I mean, stuff happens. Stuff always happens, you know, but, you know, if you want to look at this negatively, you know, I went out, didn't catch nothing the first spot. Someone was in my spot. Again, I don't feel that way. I'm just letting you know that is on a negative side of how someone could think. I forgot my leader, broke off my whole leader, which is kind of rare in itself. Usually you can get it back and keep going. And I have a hole in my boots I just bought last year from a piece of that thin, crappy bamboo stuff that shouldn't even be in the river. It's invasive. It's not a native plant. And you know, and you think about how you could just go crush that with my pinky, just and it's gone, and it went through my freaking boot. As nice as those boots are muck boots. Okay, I thought I was spending money on something quality, and they are extremely comfortable and extremely warm. But man, it gets cold out. Those shoes, those boots will slip on frickin' anything, man. It's like they turn to lube when you step on a rock or a leaf or a stick, anything. It's terrible. And then now the neoprene, it's just a piece of that bamboo. I call it bamboo. I don't know what it is. Just right through my frickin' boot. Filled my boot up with water. So I go home. I'm like, let me go home. Yeah, I got out. It's cool. Let me go home. So that first trip out to me wasn't a real first trip out. And so I told myself that, you know, hey, man, it's December. If I decide to continue this, I mean, I got to keep my elite status up, right? I got to keep it. You know, I'm not calling myself elite. It's just the challenge, okay? I'm not sitting here saying I'm an elite fisherman. It's the challenge, okay? I'm a normal guy that does good sometimes, okay? I don't think I'm some miraculous fisherman. But so it was eating at me. I'm like, man, we're getting, you know, I don't know what the date was, but we're into December a good bit. And I'm like, I don't have a fish. I got to get out there. I got to get out there and at least try to get my December fish, you know, because this is only the second year of trying to catch a fish in December. You know, I just barely did it last year. I had to get out again.
I'm really kind of considering this my first trip out. It is currently December 10th, 1 p.m. 61 degrees outside. Anyways, do I think we're going to catch a fish today? I'm going to say no, probably not. You know, we're on a warming trend, which is nice. It'd probably be in the 40s. We'll check when we get there. Anyways, yeah, we're basically going to be fishing for a needle in a haystack, and now the haystack is covered in mud. So the chances are very low, but it's warm out, so I just wanted to get outside before the cold temps roll in again. It is up high. Ooh, I'm getting that feeling. Like this may work. Just looking at the water, how high it is and things. Oh, this could get interesting. I don't have a freaking net.
There's the thing about the spot we're fishing. Literally came from me, my theories on winter fishing, and information from some of you guys to help me out. I literally pulled up Google Maps last year, and I'm just looking at the river. I'm following it, and I'm just looking. I'm looking for bends in the river, big rocks in the river, anything that the water current can go a certain side and then leave calm water on the other side, away from the current side. So this spot literally came from me looking at a map, and it's not a spot. It's not like finding a boat ramp. Google Maps ain't going to tell you about it. I just found it through a map. You know, but I learned about the spot. You know, I learned about where the holes are at, where some rocks are at, where the trees are at, how the current acts. You know, I learned those things last year fishing it, but that spot did produce come closer to spring, and I kept telling myself, that is a winter hole. I know it is. It has to be. And so that's why we're going back to this spot to try and get this lead challenge, because I want to prove to myself that I was right about this being a winter spot.
We're just going to target right along the bank here in hopes that they pulled out of the middle to the bank because the water rose, and they could be down there rummaging around in the dirt and stuff, staying out of the current. Hopefully they smell this tube and eat it up. It's starting to rain already. Can't believe I forgot my rain jacket. I'm an idiot. Check the conditions. It's on the fall now, which kind of sucks. And we're in a snag. Temperature is steady rise, 41 degrees. Lots of weeds and grass and stuff. There's a fish. That's a fish. That's a smallmouth. We got one. We got one. We got one. We got one. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Don't fall in, Ish. That's a good one. That's a good fish. I got one. I got one. As long as we don't lose it, we'll have our December smallmouth. And it is not small. Wait a minute. Have we caught you before? We may have caught this before. That tail looked fairly familiar. Is that the fish I caught just not that long ago? That's a big one. Very light bite. Oh, up here in the weeds. Let's oh, he's cold. We gotta get a measurement. Get a good look. He's very pale already because of the mud. And, well, probably because it's winter also. Don't fall in, Ish. Don't fall in. Get the board wet. He might be an 18. Let's see. Let's see what he is. That's a good fish. We're at an 18. Hope you guys can see that. 18. 18. What is that? Technically, what I consider my first day out. Trying to catch one in December after my break, and we got an 18. That's a big one. Look at that. Look at that mark right there. That's a good fish. All right, man. He's fat. It worked. My theory worked. See you, bud. Thank you. He's cold. He just real slow went down in. I got some stuff figured out. Well, that to me feels like a sign I should keep doing this. That's a rush. Very light bite, just doop. Ate that tube, no problem.
You know, it's kind of weird trying to sit here and tell a story about what happened a while back and try to remember all these different trips and tell a story about it. And that's what I'm doing. I have no notes. I'm just going off of memory. So hopefully you guys noticed, but that's the same fish from the same general area 3 weeks prior. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. You know, that is the same fish. It kind of makes the river feel a little bit smaller when that happens. This is my first try out in December, and I pull out an 18 in very short amount of time. To me, that's my sign. I got to keep going. I got to keep doing this. I mean, who else does this? I mean, I'm sure there's a few people that do very well, but it just seems crazy to me. You know, the chances of that just seem low. You know, to me, that was a good sign to continue. I can't help but think that doesn't happen to many people. So again, that's just confirming I have something special here. So as always, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. If you made it this far, you're a real one. Just realized I forgot to say see ya. Hope you got your John.